Hi, welcome back to another video, and it's retro rewind time, and I thought, given that it's Le Mans weekend, a very odd Le Mans weekend, as we're a lot later in the year than we should be for Le Mans, but nonetheless, it's Le Mans weekend, I thought I'd take a look back at Le Mans. In this case, the PS2 version of the title Le Mans 24 Hours. Now, this is actually a port of a Dreamcast game called Test Drive Le Mans 24 Hours. They dropped the Test Drive title when they ported it over to the PS2. It was also ported over to PC as well, and added in a lot of additional content. So what we ended up with in this version was 70 licensed cars. So you've got a range of GT cars in here. You've also got two forms of prototype. You've got the open and closed classes as well. A whole load of tracks. I think there's around about 12 real-world tracks in here. Some really great stuff like time of day, obviously very important in a 24-hour game, but you've got the full time of day here, so you can run through that. And interestingly, it doesn't matter what race duration you set for the actual Le Mans 24 hours. You can set it to 10 minutes, you can set it to the full 24 hours. It will still run you through the 24-hour time period, starting at the correct time, finishing at the correct time as you go through that, even having to finish the final lap and things like that. So it really does bring the flavour in, and having that time of day with your transition from the afternoon into the evening, into the night, running all the way through the night, dawn appearing, and then through the morning, lunchtime into the afternoon, and the race is finished. Now, obviously, if you set it to the short 10 minute, as I've done just to capture this footage here, the transitions are remarkably quick, but as you spread it out, it gets more and more visually impressive for its time, for when it came out. Keep in mind, this is a PS2 title after all. But as well as having a 24-hour time of day cycle on this, what you've also got is dynamic weather, which really does add to it as well. So you never know when it's going to start raining, and if it starts raining, how heavy the rain is going to be, whether you're just going to get threatening clouds and the lightest splatter of rain, or whether you're going to get an absolute deluge. So that adds to the tactical element of the title, and should it start raining and you want to pit for wets, you're going to be greeted with a 3D animated pit crew as well. So it's got some really nice touches along the line like that. You're going to have to take care of your fuel wear on the longer races as well. But as I say, you don't just have to settle in for the full 24 hours of Le Mans. You do also have a load of other race events and tracks that you can face in here. So you've got Petite Le Mans in there, you've got two variants of that, you've got Donington Park, you've got Brno, you've got a whole host of tracks in there. So it really does give you a good amount of depth in here. There's no damage modelling in there, unfortunately, but what you do have, you've got 4 camera options in here. So you've got cockpit, hood cam, and then 2 chase cams in there. The cockpit isn't a full cockpit, it's closer to a bumper cam, but placed higher up. There's no modelled or rendered cockpit in here, unfortunately. But you know, it's still good for what it gives. I tend to favour the hood. I think that gives you a good feel of what's going on. In terms of handling, it was never even supposed to be a console-style sim at the time it was released. It's a good, solid arcade racing title in what it offers, and gives you a good amount to do with regard to that, which is excellent, and it handles well enough. I find it quite enjoyable, even if the cars do turn in far too quickly, but that's kind of like the arcade bent behind it. Looks wise for its time, it was criticised at release that it wasn't as good looking or as good sounding as the Dreamcast version, but with looking at it 20 years down the line here, it doesn't look brilliant full stop, and that's perhaps one of its biggest drawbacks, particularly as the time of day changes and you get into the night. It's harder to see what's going on, and you're having to try and drive the track by memory rather than by any cues, and as the weather changes that can be a bit tricky, but it gets the atmosphere and it gets the feeling, and it's just a good fun title. And I quite surprised myself how much I enjoyed going back to it all of these years later. I mean, it's got to be 15 plus years since I last played this, so getting back into it was quite surprisingly enjoyable once I put the aged graphics to one side, accepted it for an arcade title. It's a blast, being perfectly honest, and the transitions of both time and weather are really impressive for when it was put together. So I quite enjoyed over the Le Mans weekend picking up 20 years on Le Mans and driving the 2000 Le Mans from it. So there we go, Le Mans 24 Hours from the PS2. If you've enjoyed this video, please do hit the like button, and if you want to see more content like this, subscribe away to the channel and hit the bell icon to be notified when new content gets uploaded. Thanks very much. Bye.